Hello beautiful people, welcome back to my channel. My name is Sandra ESL. First of all, I'd like to say a huge thank you to those of you that have seen my videos, and if you're here to subscribe to my channel, kindly click on the subscribe button down below. If this is your first time stopping by, once again, my name is Sandra. Welcome to the family. Please click on the subscribe button down below and also hit the post notification bell so you know whenever I post a video. All right, thank you very much. Today we are going to be speaking on how to overcome social anxiety. I am going to be sharing a few tips on how you can do that. But before we start, let's quickly break it down. Okay, social anxiety. Anxiety means worry, fear, discomfort, and social means to be around people, to be in a social setting, to be in a public space, right? So that plus anxiety, being fearful, worrying, or feeling a bit of discomfort or concern in a social space. Okay, so we get the definition. Great. But I do understand that, of course, that there is a spectrum of social anxiety, and not everyone falls in the same space. It sometimes ranges from being shy to actually having a social anxiety disorder. So this video isn't for those that suffer with a disorder. I mean, if this video is able to help you, I really hope so. But I'm just speaking to the average person who feels shy, uncomfortable, or feel like the whole world is looking upon them whenever they go out. Okay, all right. Before I share these tips, I want to throw in a little bit of theory, so these are not just my thoughts. Although there's a part of my thought in this, but it's always nice to have theory to back it up. Okay, so research was conducted at the university by a professor called Professor Thomas at the Cornell University, and you can also do like research on this so you can understand it better. I'm going to just summarize what this research was all about. So he called a number of people, and he divided them into different groups, right? So into three groups or so. So he asked a larger number of the group to go sit in a theater, and the way the theater was structured, the door is angled in a position where every and anyone that sat in the theater room could see whoever walked in. So out of the larger group, he picked out a few people and asked them to stay back, whatever the case might be. Then he gave them like a t-shirt to wear with like very popular people like Martin Luther King, which of course, if you think that everyone would notice you if you wore that t-shirt, right? So the research was a replica of an embarrassing situation. So he asked the larger number of people to go sit in the theater, and he asked the few to wait. I mean, I don't really know how it went down, but maybe he gave them like different times to show up. So he gave the fewer the people with the t-shirt, I think perhaps he gave them like he gave them like a wrong time, which was later than the other people, right? So blah 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 blah, everyone is seated in the theater. So now this group of people, they have the Martin Luther King shirt on, and other like famous people, they walk into the hall. Of course you're late, you have a t-shirt that seems that you think would draw a lot of attention, and you just feel like, okay, now everyone is looking at me. This ground should open and swallow me, right? So after the research, the professor asked the participants, the ones with the shirt, he asked them, how many people did you think noticed you? And they said about 50% of the people in the hall definitely noticed us. And when the research was concluded, it actually turned out that only 10% of the people in the hall noticed those people. Of course, this is just one example of so many other examples, and it clearly showed that the participants, the ones with the t-shirt, thought 5 times more than what was, and this, and I feel, and I truly believe that this is how it is in our real day-to-day life. People don't really care as much as you think, and I do understand the worry and concern of not wanting people to look down on you or frown upon your actions, your behavior, the way you speak, or you want to be accepted and liked, you want to act in a certain manner, you think everyone is judging or criticizing you. I mean, in reality, I don't really think that's the case. Like, how many videos have you seen? And they've even been like where they conduct social experiments, or someone is being kidnapped on the road and everyone is just watching. Not to say that they can't see, but everyone is just all about their business, right? So if you go out and you think everyone is really staring at you, I have bad news and good news for you, because I do think this helps, but at the same time, only a few people care. and which can also be problematic in our world sometimes, but that's just the truth of the matter, right? So here are a few tips on how you can overcome the social anxiety. The first one is to meditate. Meditate. In a day, there are about 50 to 70,000 thoughts in our mind. We can't even, keep up with them. So when you meditate, it's good for you to catch yourself and see the things that you're thinking about, and when you see that you're thinking about yourself, you're thinking about your concerns, you're thinking about your plans, you're thinking about the past events, you're thinking about, it's hardly ever you thinking about the person, you random person you saw in the day. Even if you do think about it, that's like one thought out of 70,000. Do you get what I mean? Okay, so the first thing is to meditate. Meditation is actually very good. It helps you bring yourself to yourself. You feel more in control. You feel more in charge. You're in tune with the things that are going on in your mind. Okay. Number 2, put yourself in the other person's shoes. Maybe if you go out next time, just look at someone and try to think what they are thinking. And you see that they're not thinking. Just carefully stare, or however long it's going to take you. Just think. What is this other person thinking about right now? If I'm in their position, what would I be thinking about? And I promise you'll see that you're not thinking about the other person. You're thinking about yourself. Probably thinking about what you need to do, what you're going to eat, your wife, your kids, your husband, your sister, the assignment that you have due. You see that a lot of people are very self-centered. We care more about ourselves. Someone might be staring at you, but trust me, they are not thinking about you most of the time, right? So that's very good. Kind of like put yourself in someone else's shoes. I don't call it a role play, but put yourself in someone else's shoes, and you see that people don't even care as much as you think that they do. Number 3, this is a very big one for me, because I know I don't know, people that know me in real life right now might not ever think that I was once a shy person, like very, very shy. I never used to want to speak in public. I never used to want to ask questions. But of course, that had to do a lot with like self-esteem issues and stuff, because I knew like my core was a very bold person, but I didn't really have the space that allowed me to showcase that. So the moment I started trying to connect with myself again and become the person that I know that I am, the key thing I did was to ask questions. For example, in a class setting, I would always sit closer to I'll sit in front. And sitting in front does not mean I know it all. It just meant that I was willing to always ask questions, right? Don't. So if you feel like you don't know something, if you feel like you're uncertain about something, just ask questions. Questions are very powerful, guys. And question takes away the attention from you. A little tricky, even if you're in a class setting and you don't and you're not so knowledgeable on what is being taught, ask your lecturer a question. At least that way it takes away the focus from you. Your lecturer won't be keen on asking you another question because you just threw the question at them. And I know this is not easy, because of course you're already suffering from social. And maybe in this particular moment, yes, people might have their eyes on you, and people might be listening to the way you sound, the way you speak, the way you articulate yourself, whatever, if your question is smart or not. But at the end of the day, I do believe that there is nothing that really comes easy. All you need to do is just repeat. The first time is probably going to feel like the end of the world. Your voice is perhaps going to even be cracky. You're probably going to even experience some vocabulary error or whatever, some grammatical error, because you're so nervous. But do it. Amongst everything here that I've listed, all you need to do is still just like do it. Whatever it is you want to do it. Whatever it is that you feel like will take you to the next level, do it, regardless of what you think other people are thinking. But because once again, people don't really care as much as you think that they do. Even with the class situation, you ask a question. Remember, people have 50,000 to 70,000 thoughts going on in their mind. Yours might just be one of them, and they don't really care so much. Okay, they do care, and so what? You also have to have the mentality of, so what? I might be prejudged, I might be frowned upon, I might be seen as whatever, but, and so what? Like, what is going to happen after that? Especially when you're doing something that you know will strengthen you, something that will take you to the next level. That's all I have to share today, guys. I really hope you're able to do this. I know I don't think it's rocket science. I do, however, understand that it's not really easy, but the key to everything and anything is to practice. Like me personally, I remember when I wanted to just become just like I already said, become the person that I wanted to be, I started doing things that made me feel uncomfortable. There is so much growth waiting for you in your discomfort. So do those things that makes you feel uncomfortable. Do those things that you don't want to do, not because they are bad, but because you're fearful. It has to get to a point where you're like, I'm done being afraid. I'm done being so much in my mind, because that's it. You know, your worst enemy is actually your mind. You're fighting with yourself. No one cares. Like, okay, I mean, like, even if someone noticed, then so what? Even if someone looked at you, and so what? Even if someone thinks about you, and so what? You know, amongst everything, you just have to have the mindset of no one really cares, and even if they do, and so what? That, you know, the times when I want to share something and I feel like, oh my gosh, you know, people might judge me, people might feel like I'm overdoing it, but I ask myself the question, and so what? You know, all that matters is that I'm better than the way I was yesterday. I have definitely grown by sharing whatever I wanted to share, or by doing whatever I wanted to do. I feel fulfilled in a way that nothing else would have fulfilled me, and I did it. You know, of course, sometimes I look back and I cringe, but really I ask myself, I'm like, do you think people are still sleeping on that? You think people haven't moved on from that? And even if they remember here and there, and so what? But the chances that they're not even thinking about it. There's some moments where I feel like, ugh, cringe. And I think about them like, Sandra, really? Come on. Are you serious? You think if you were to ask the next person about that moment, you think they even remember? Everything is just in your head. Or at least maybe not everything, but I can promise you, 90% of whatever you're thinking, other people are thinking is just in your head. So guys, I really encourage you to just take the boldness, take the courage, do whatever it is you want to do. I mean, there's so many things I hear people say they want to do, and I can just see fear holding them. Like, guys, come on. This life is just once. This is not a rehearsal session. And I don't think it's easy to overcome social anxiety, especially speaking from someone that used to fall in that category. And sometimes it's not everything that comes easy to me. And I think even the boldest person, or the most courageous person, the person that's even had like 1 million public speaking events, sometimes they still do feel nervous. They still do feel shy or uncomfortable, experience that level of anxiety. But the difference between those people is that they do. The people, you know, in this life, when you want to categorize people, I mean, sounds very cliche, is those that do and those that don't. And that's where the change comes from doing uncomfortable things. As long as it's enhancing your life, it's making you better than you were yesterday, it's fulfilling you, that's all that matters. But yeah, until next time, guys, I really hope this video has not been so long. I really hope you learned a thing or two. Please leave a comment in the comment section if you feel like, you know, there are other ways in which a person can overcome social anxiety. Please leave in the comment section below, and also let us know how you overcame yours, if you ever did, and how you're working on it, if you're currently still experiencing it. Leave a comment, just like I said, share, like this video, and subscribe. Until next time, bye guys.